everybody for coming. It's been just a little while, not too long though. Thank everybody in the chamber tonight. Ray, welcome. And Beth, you guys are, it's good to see you guys out. This evening is kind of an interesting night. Yeah, it's on. And what my goal was is I've been asking a lot of folks, you know, what to do next on our next project, and it's just been kind of difficult, and nobody has any real clear direction on what they'd like to see next. So what I did was, you know, I hope to get a little bit out of this. I just wanted to put some stuff together for you to look at, and then the next meeting we may be able to vote on a few things, and maybe not, and maybe you have a different direction you'd like to go in, and I'm certainly willing to hear that. But I am going to stick to the agenda here. And I'd like to, in consideration of the planning and zoning minutes from the meeting held on June 3rd, 2024, to entertain a motion there.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay, I got a first and a second.
Waive the reading also. Yeah, right?
What's that?
To waive the reading?
Yeah.
Yes, please, please, yeah. I'm pretty sure Tim said that.
Tim said that.
We're going to make that out, you know, on the record here.
What's that?
And waive the reading.
Oh, however you want to.
Unless you want to read
It's
it.
up to you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, well, I'm not reading it, but if you'd like to read it.
No, thank you.
Okay, good deal. So we're going to waive the reading. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Thank you. Next on the agenda is public comment, and I do not believe I have anyone unless Annabeth would like to speak. Okay. Next would be consideration of addition of Nicholas County Airport to the City of Summersville Comprehensive Plan 2030. I sent you out what I thought it would probably go in that section. I'm not completely positive on that, but I do want to read a couple of things that was Councilman Shaw brought this up in a city council meeting, and I think he's spot on. I think it certainly needs to be addressed, but he's on the airport board authority, and he recognized that we did not include the airport in our 2030 comprehensive plan. And as you remember, there was a whole lot going on at that time relative to that airport. There was, yeah, there really was. I mean, we weren't even really sure that there was going to be an airport at that time. However, in consideration, I think he's spot on. I think after hearing some of the things that they have going on out there, we need to really consider making that a part of that comprehensive plan. Some of the things that he brought up, and I have some notes here, he wanted just to give an update a little bit on their operation, and some of this was shocking to me. He said we are currently upgrading our old hangars and their office. He said they have built 4 new 8-bay hangars, and he's got hangars, all the hangar space is completely full, and they currently have 12 airplanes. And look, it could be 17. I can't read that if it's 12 or 17. Do you remember, Jim? I don't remember. It's either 12 or 17 planes, but they're completely full, and they have a waiting list. So I think that's incredible and terrific out there. They're doing a great job. During the month of May, they had 235 operations come across the airport, and they sold 1,214 gallons of AU gas. They also sold 365 gallons of jet fuel. So, you know, the operation and the fuel cells are going to continue to grow through the summer and the fall as people recognize that they're open and they're doing that well. The jet fuel is a big hit. You know, once that word is out there, they're going to just continue to grow on jet fuel with these helicopters. So his wish is he would like for us to just consider adding that into that 2030 comprehensive plan, and in the future also. And I told him that we would look at it as a commission and consider that. And I would like you to basically you know, after you go home this evening and before our next meeting, think about that. We've got to figure out where we would put that in that comprehensive plan. I looked at transportation and circulation. That could be an area that we make some addition, and then we're going to have some wording and some verbiage to put that in there. But I do think it's a valid point. He did say moving forward, you know, it's a vital link to that new Young Life facility out there. There's folks that come in for that, and of course for economic development. For our city, not only for our city, but for our county and all the surrounding areas. So I thank Councilman Shaw for that, and I think it's certainly worth us considering. I don't know if anybody would like to say anything about that at this time, but I'll open the floor up for discussion on that. Again, I'm not asking to vote, but I think it's something that we should consider.
I think probably makes sense to do that. I'm not sure where to put it exactly. And I think we probably need some of their input
Absolutely.
when we do that, if we do that.
Yeah. Yeah. They have to have an idea as to what they would like that to look like.
Yeah.
And I agree.
That's got to come from them, son.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. And I got to tell you, it's difficult because I researched it quite a bit, and it's hard to find. You know, it's always nice to go in and be able to, you know, copy a little bit of what somebody else has done, but it's a difficult airport to model after. You know, when I look at airports in the state of West Virginia, you have Raleigh, and they have become a pretty good commercial airline, and you got Bridgeport. They're becoming very much commercial. Of course, Charleston, Huntington, and there's not a lot out there. So this verbiage is going to be fresh and new, and it's going to have to come from this commission. And I think you're right. I think that they're going to have to give us some ideas to what they would like and what their goal is for the future of that airport. You know?
I think it's not just transportation, it's recreation.
Yes.
I mean, that's
Correct.
So I guess we,
Yeah. There's a little one in Fayette County.
yeah.
I don't know if, I'll look and see. I don't know if they have it in their comprehensive plan or not. I'll look and see.
Lewisburg.
Is it in there?
I was saying Lewisburg.
Oh, Lewisburg has a small one, don't they?
Mason County has one.
Okay.
There's
I guess there's some around.
Yeah, so there's some out there. It's whether or not they have them.
I don't know what Fairmont's done since they quit, I don't think they do commercial anymore.
No, they just fly those little ones in there on Airport Road there. Yeah, right behind that John Deere place. Yeah.
Maybe we could invite representatives from the airport to our next meeting.
Yeah.
Have some discussion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so. That'd be great.
Yes, Raxton County's got, I don't know if they've got.
I think there's
They have a
several.
small
They're by
one.
the ball fields, don't they still, do they still use
It's up by
that?
the prison.
Yeah,
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 Up
right
on
there
top
by
of the
Holly
hill.
Gray Park, right
Yeah.
before you get to Holly Gray Park.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know if they still use it much.
I think
There,
there's
still.
one in
I
Bluefield.
think so.
There's several of them around, really.
Yeah.
I've flown in there a couple times.
Oh, okay.
I think that's a great idea. Let's invite some of those folks in at our next meeting, and I'll let them know early. I'll let them know tomorrow. I'll give them a couple weeks to really help them plan as to what kind of. I think Jaeger can help us out with that because they're actually, Jim, aren't they managing that airport for them? I think they are.
I don't think so now.
They're not? Okay.
Somehow I think something there broke down, I'm not sure what.
Okay. I'll ask
They
them.
were at one time, but I'm not so sure they are now.
Okay. So I think it's valid. I think it's something we should consider and look, but I think everybody brings up good points. You know, we need to kind of know what their plan and goals are, what they want to achieve, so that we can insert something into that comprehensive plan. But back when we did that, it was really interesting because we had the Corps that was changing things and possibly creating something different than that airport. You remember that? And that was all going on about that same time. So it was tough. And I think they've ironed most of that out now.
Don't they have quite a contract with the West Virginia National Guard?
Yes. yes.
That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it is. It is. So, anyway, I wanted to bring that up. It starts getting your mind thinking about it. I will invite them to come to our next meeting and just do some sort of a presentation for us, what they would like to see it look like. And in the meantime, I'll search Fayetteville and Fayette County, Lewisburg, and even Braxton and
I
see
think
what they have.
Bluefield's got a pretty nice one.
Okay.
I know we got
Bluefield.
flats on there.
Okay. All right. Any other comments on that? Thank you very much. Next is a consideration of work permit penalties. Again, not looking for a vote, but want some thoughts on this. I struggle with it a little bit, but I understand it too. As I look through the state and look at other municipalities, they do have in their ordinances penalties and remedies on these violations. Example that we're struggling with a little bit, as our code official goes out, we have a tendency to have repeat offenders, if you will, not doing permits properly and not getting building permits, and some, in a lot of cases, he goes out and he finds not only they don't have a permit, but they also do not have a business license. So we end up having to gather the business license and permitting. One of the things I struggle with is it's not real clear in the ordinance as I read it. Is it the responsibility of the contractor, or is it the responsibility of the owner of the home? And it's not real clear as to which way it is. So when talking to Joey, he's thinking that our contractors just should be educated about that. And when they do, their estimates and things of that nature, they need to make the folks aware. Do you want to get the building permit, or do you want me to get it? And make sure that happens. I want to make everybody rest assured he's out there and not creating issues. He's not really shutting anyone down, but he is still collecting and holding folks accountable to that. So we've done a really nice job of getting to a point where we're really very consistent with those things throughout the city. Everybody's, if one person's doing it, they're all doing it. So we've done a pretty nice job. His issue is, though, and when you look at these other violations, and I just pulled one up from the Beckley, and it's your first page on that packet that I gave you. Theirs is and these are not penalties to just make a bunch of money on. It's more about, man, if I don't get this permit, it's going to cost me more. And they just do things the right way. Violation and penalty: any person, firm, or corporation who shall violate any provision of this chapter or shall fail to comply with any of the requirements thereof, or who shall excavate, for, erect, construct, enlarge, reconstruct, add to, alter, repair, move, maintain, use, and or occupy any building or any other structure, and or land in violation of an approved plan or directive of the planning or the zoning officer, planning commission, board of zoning appeals, or common council, or of a building permit. Now you know why I go to Greg, right, and let him write my stuff. But basically, at the end of the day, they're going to create a fine, and it says here this one is not less than $10. Nor more than $300 each and every day that such violation continues may constitute a separate offense. It may not be a bad idea. All the cities are using it. They have some sort of penalties and violations for such things like this. Hoping that I think it takes care of itself. Again, I really like how this commission utilized when we started talking about fines and things on the last time we were together. We said that, hey, we're going to give them a free ride the first time. You know what I mean? We put that in writing. It was maybe it was you, Tim, that mentioned that, or Jimmy. Somebody brought that up, and we put it in writing. And hey, you get a free pass. But after this is what's going to happen. It's going to cost you more. I saw some that actually don't get a lot, they do not get a lot into this penalty thing. What they do is, or the fines, they just double it. So if you don't have a building permit this time, they warn you, and the next time, they're gonna double it. So if the permit's $15, it's gonna be 30 next time. You know, they do things of that nature. But it's more about educating those folks and making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do. Since we passed, you know, we talked with council, and they remember the stop work orders. Those have worked really well, but he has not really had to utilize them. You know, I think he's probably only had to use a couple. So it's nice to have that kind of thing out there. But we don't want to stop work. You know, we just want to make sure everybody's getting their permits. So keep that in mind. I would like to come back to you on that. I don't know, does anybody want to say anything on that at all? And this was brought to me from our code official, Joey Groves. Just a consideration, he said.
He brought this particular one.
He didn't bring this one. He just told me what he was wanting to do. I went in and researched and looked around. I thought this was about, it was kind of windy, but it's even less windy than most as I was looking through other ordinances.
Because the $10 is a lot less than the $100 for the first offense that was originally presented.
Yes. Yeah.
Do we have a personnel to,
Enforce.
yeah.
He's doing a pretty good job. Yeah, he's doing a pretty good
Well,
job.
I know Joey does a good
Yeah.
job, but
Yeah.
he's got a lot of other things.
He's got a lot of things going on. Yeah, yeah, but that is one of the things that he does. He does a good job of rolling. It's amazing how other contractors throw contractors under the bus, you know. So he gets a lot of reports to him, you know, hey, you need to go down on Grove Street. I don't think they have a business license. And that comes from other contractors.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so they keep each other in tune somewhat. But yeah, I would have to answer yes. He's got a pretty good handle on it. And it's not too much for him. Of course, he's the one asking for it, so he must feel like he can handle that. I struggle. I want business to be comfortable and like to come to Summersville and work. You know what I mean? However, I still feel that they need to be held accountable, and it needs to be consistent across the board. What I'm charging someone else, they should be paying the same if they're doing the same thing. What do you think? Think about it.
I like this one.
I do too. I mean,
It's more.
I hope I don't have to read it again, but it's pretty windy. It's kind of lengthy. But you can see why we get Greg to help us on those.
I mean, this is nothing legal.
Oh, well, yeah, you probably see that stuff every day, don't
I
you?
think this isn't very long at all.
Yeah, yeah. That is for sure. Any other questions? Okay. So if you go to the next page, it says 1329.04. So as I read through ordinances, you know, I don't want to rewrite these ordinances, but there are a lot of things that come up where certain individuals are responsible for the approval of things. And I like to use when we did the chicken and the fowl ordinance, I know that y'all remember that. And it said, they had this ordinance there, but then it came back and said that the recorder could still approve that. You know, really, the recorder shouldn't be in that position to do that. We have some things, and we have some ordinances like that, where the city recorder is saying is the responsible party. It even has areas that the mayor is the responsible parties for things, and really there's some editing that needs to be done in those areas. This first one here is 1329. You know, some of my notes are these building permit codes outdated? Is the $100 fee still valid? I looked into all of this stuff, and it is. So our fee structure and everything is accurate in there. But it does say in subset B, also are applications made out to the city recorder, or should they be made out to the city of Summersville? In the ordinance it says city recorder. I feel that should be city of Summersville. That should be written to the city recorder, in my opinion. So you might want to circle that. It's in the B. Would like to change that into the city of Summersville on that one. Everything else I can somewhat live with, but that's just a small detail. But to my knowledge, I never see a check written to the city recorder. So these are being written to the city of Summersville anyway. So we might as well put it in our ordinance as that.
Yeah.
Okay?
This says application for the permit, though, doesn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Doesn't say payment to be made, does it?
Application for building permit shall be made to the city recorder on blank forms to be furnished by the city. Well, that is the application. It's not really the check, I guess is what you're trying to say.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
yeah, okay. So I need to, fix that wording. So it should be written out to, application fee should be written out to. And again, I'll be passing all these across Greg's desk so that he can look and adjust, okay? Next one on there is 1113.03. This ordinance reads that the mayor may issue a penalty in violation of Article 1113. The mayor does not possess the authority for this, but the code official does. Okay, so I would like for you all to consider changing that from mayor to code official, and that'll be something that I'll come back to you guys with. So they're small, but still
It needs to be changed.
needs fixed. It needs fixed. Let's see. The next one is what, 1383.03. Okay, I had that in there, and today I think we're okay with that. It just looked to me like the corresponding table failed to clarify that the construction signs could be no more than 8 foot above ground level. But I think there's enough wording in there that it stays consistent and stays okay. So I think I'm okay with that. But you guys can take that and look at that. There might be something else that you think is confusing. I'm telling you, I would love to be able to simplify as much as we can. I mean, things get pretty confusing as you start trying to read through some of these ordinances. But I went ahead and left it in here. So you might want to take a look at that. Anytime you have wording in an ordinance and then you have a table representing that ordinance, it needs to be consistent. And what you're saying in words needs to be consistent on those tables. So, if you would, take a good look at that, see if we're going to be okay there. The next one is 525.07. Just so that you know, I mean, this was written a long time ago, and the drug of choice was this glue. Okay, I would like to look at that, and I'm going to go talk to a couple of physicians and ask for their guidance on this. And is there a new drug of choice, and should we even have something like this in here? But I do think it's worth looking at, and I'm going to speak to a couple of physicians, and I just want to let you know this is in there. 525.07, glue sales restricted. It's kind of interesting. And I think, I'm just trying to open eyes and let you know that there's some things in here.
Is
The
it
next-
on air duster?
Especially,
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You know, at our store, for example, air dusters is huge. And we had them in the back of the store on an aisle, two aisles from the back. And I was getting maybe 32 cases in a month. And we were probably losing 20 cases out the door with theft. And then I moved those up front, but we were finding those cans out behind the building and they're huffing it. So this is this is an issue. It's definitely an issue. So, you know, we'll have to take a peek at it, but that's true. There's air cans that you're spraying out your computer keyboards with is a real issue, and these are young kids getting that stuff. I know our store has now put, you gotta be, I think it's 21 to buy that can of air spray, which is sad, but that's what we're doing, yeah. 525.05, as I read through this, it does say in here, it has an age limit of 18, I believe. And I believe now you have to be 20, I don't smoke, but I believe that you have to be 21 now. And I would like to change that. Let's see here.
I didn't know that, when did they change that?
Well, my notes say I believe you now have to be 21 years old to purchase any kind of tobacco product in West Virginia. I feel like we need to revise this section by simply referring to state law, because that is state law. Yeah, I looked it up, it's 21. But the easy part about that is, I'm going to suggest to Greg, can we just, it's kind of like the ATV thing, just refer to it as follow the state law. And how do we do that? But we could adjust that ordinance by doing that. Yeah, Google that, Brandon. I think it is, it's 21. 505.05, another interesting one. I said, does the city even have a city health officer? I don't know one, you know. And in this ordinance, it's saying refer to the city health officer. It'd probably make more sense to code these responsible to the code official. Okay. So if you read it, it says every veterinary surgeon within the limits of the city shall keep and maintain the premises housing his animal hospital clean, sanitary, and free from offensive odors at all times. Every veterinary surgeon or practitioner or any other persons who examines, treats, or has knowledge of any animal having glanders, boy, I'm going to mess this up, Farsi, we'll skip this one, rabies, tuberculosis, or any other like communicable dangerous disease shall within 24 hours thereof notify the city health officer. Okay, and back in the day they may have had a city health officer, but we do not have a city health officer. They want you to notify that person of such disease and shall furnish the following information relating thereto, and that is the location and description of the animal, name, address, and business or occupation of the owner or custodian, nature and character of the disease. So I'm going to ask if we can just move that over and take city health officer out and put code official.
how many hospitals do we have in the city?
It's a good question. I only know of one in the city limits.
Yeah, one, and then they go to Oak Hill and Beckley for the other veterinarians.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know that on dog bites, they refer, like the doctors, when they go in, refer it to the county health officer, and then they go out and the sanitarian officer gets out on that and works with Joey on that.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure the animal doesn't have rabies or anything when it is vaccinated.
The one we got is busy, I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
Gee,
They all are.
yeah. The next one, the 1311, as I was reading it, my notes are all of these dimensions should be revisited with the right consultation to ensure that these are still the norms for enforcement. Some of these have been in there for so long. I'm not saying we should change it, but I would like possibly Joey and some folks to look at that and make sure that he's still not having any issues with any of that. It could be okay, but it's been a long time since any of those have been revisited. So I'd like for Joey to look that over, but I just want you all to know that, you know, I am looking at that, and I'll continue to look at that, but I need to get some folks a little bit smarter than I am when it comes to that and the setbacks and things of that nature. 1105.03. Find that one here. This ordinance reads that a permit must be obtained from the city recorder. Probably wouldn't be the recorder in charge of this, the building official, or just the city in general. Again, probably going to go back to, it says all factory housing, modular homes, manufactured homes, mobile homes, manufactured units, factory built housing coming in the corporate limits of the city must first obtain a building permit from the city recorder before locating said units in the city corporate limits. You know, certainly the city recorder looks at some of that, but the actual building permit itself is really approved by the code official who has all the expertise of that. So 1329.02. See what I have on that one. This actually came from, you remember the gentleman that came from Fairmont to help us with some things? This one came from him, and I've written this one down. He said he thinks this would be a good place to officially rename the Planning and Zoning Commission as the Summersville Planning and Zoning Commission. I think he's spot on this, and I wrote this down throughout the ordinances, and as you read through these ordinances, this commission is referred to as both the Zoning Commission, the Planning Commission, and this is a little bit confusing, as a commoner may easily think that these are two separate commissions, along with now we have the Board of Zoning and Appeals, and I see they're being called different things. So, you know, I think this should be looked at, and it should, anywhere in our ordinances, it should clearly state the same thing throughout and be consistent as Planning and Zoning Commission. So that's what I saw on that one. 935.02, schedule of sewer rates. I just wanted everybody, this hit me, and as I was reading it, I was like, oh my. You know, as we not too long ago had an increase in water and things of that nature, and I went back in, I do want you to know that our ordinances are correct. They have been changed and edited, and they are correct to what we're charging now. Right. So, yeah, so everything is correct in this ordinance. And rest assured, if you go reading through that, you might, my heart sunk because I wonder if that's right, and it was. So, just so everybody knows that was correct. 1383.03, exempt signs. I'm going through Joey with this one too, and as I get clarification, I'll talk to you about that. But again, I found the corresponding table failed to clarify to me that the construction signs can be no more than 8 foot above ground level. So I just need to clarify some things with him before I come back to you, but I want the wording to match whatever the table is. So just so you know, that's...
I was going to say, the one that says a building permit has to be gotten from you, and this one that says building permit should be required. Oh, I thought it said it had to get it by the building code.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah. But that's that's a lot of this kind of stuff that I'm dealing with in here, that I think, you know, just some clarification and cleaning it up. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I thought I was gonna find a lot of big issues, but it really wasn't. But I do think the planning and zoning verbiage is real important. It needs to be called one thing, because as you're going through there, it is confusing. Are these different commissions, or what is this? So, you know, I do think that needs to be changed. I just wanted to let you know what I've been working on. Didn't know if you guys had anything different that you feel that this group needs, or this body needs to work on. The one thing that I didn't put in here, that I'm going to have a lot of conversation here in the very near future with our mayor. I'm really concerned about our downtown and the parking. A lot of these buildings are beginning to get remodeled to where they're putting rentals above all of these older buildings, and all of these folks have to park somewhere. And if you take a look, I know the LaRose, I'm assuming the LaRose family still owns the bank down there. I don't know if they do, if they sold it, or I haven't been brought up to speed on that. But, you know, go through there at night and look at how many cars are parking in the back of that lot, in the back of that building. And all those cars they have apartments above all these buildings. And then I know the attorney's office right here just sold, and I'm not saying that's what he's going to do, but you know, he's got a plan and he's thinking about that possibility too. So where are all these people going to park? And it's quickly becoming, I think, is going to be an issue for any kind of future downtown business. Because, you know, before I would move a store downtown, I'd be concerned about where's everybody going to park, you know, and I want my folks to be parking near my building. So, you know, I think at some point we're going to have to look at some of that. It first hit me when at the last Potato Festival over here, where we had the old Groves building and we now have parking there, when we had to notify people that, hey, that's going to be for vendors during the Potato Festival. All those folks that were parking there were people that were living in the buildings there. So it's an issue. I think it's going to be an issue. We could have folks parking in our city parking lot. I don't know. But we're going to have to eventually look at this and take a peek.
That's the mayor, I guess we'll have to wrestle.
Yes, yeah. I want him to wrestle with it with me. I mean, I do, because I've been wrestling it pretty hard. I don't feel that you're going to get people down where the murals are, down in the corner. I don't think people are going to want to park there and walk 2 blocks up to their apartment with 2 handfuls of groceries. I mean, I just don't think they're going to want to do it. But it is an issue, and I'm just hoping to make folks aware of it, start thinking about it, and how can we address it? I don't know. I really don't know.
So leave no meetings if you're going through town and people going to the vault. I mean, all the parking along Main Street and on the sides is people trying to park through there for that.
Yes, yeah. But I am concerned with future business in the downtown city area. I would be concerned. I mean, I thought of opening a place in downtown one time, and I just don't know where they're going to park. And if you can't park very easy, you're not going to come shop.
Unless I look at our parking ordinance.
Yes, I think we need to.
I'm not sure what we'll do about it.
Yeah, I don't know what you can do about it. I don't know if there is something you can do about it.
There's probably parking violations everywhere.
But this is different than when these ordinances were written, because those buildings were used for complete retail and offices and things of that nature. But now they're utilizing those upstairs for rentals, and we certainly can use the rentals. I'm not disappointed with that. I mean, we can use the rentals. So, but
Good problem to have.
it's a good problem to have. I mean, I don't have any problem with that.
A lot of cities, trust me, don't have that in southern West.
Exactly. However, it is, I think eventually it could be an issue, because I just think you're going to eventually have businesses that are not going to be downtown due to that. I mean, it's just my opinion, just one opinion, but I think that's gonna happen. I
You
mean,
might want to bring some of the merchants in on that
yeah,
Sure,
for discussion.
yeah.
Because I know one of them, we were eating at his establishment, and he brought it to our attention
Mhm.
about things he would like to see go on downtown
Yeah.
that's not, and I said, well, go talk to the city about it, you
Mhm.
know. So it might be worth pulling people in and,
yeah,
I think so.
I agree with
I
that.
think they better be in the conversation.
sure.
I agree with that. Okay. Any other comments? Is there any other discussion that you guys would like to see addressed?
That's good work, Chairman.
Ah.
All right, then kind of stuff there.
So, I will be bringing these things back to you as I get clarification. You know, some of that stuff is like above my pay grade. So I need to go to the folks that have that experience. Anything else? None? Okay. 40 minutes, 42 minutes in. And I'll entertain a motion. If nobody has anything, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you. Got a first, got a second? All in favor? Aye. Thank you.